Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Hoopers Lab podcast. This is the podcast where we talk all things basketball. I'm your host, Brody, joined here by my co-host, Riley.
Hello.
Hello. Now, today we have our center list. So, if you haven't seen power forward, small forward, shooting guard, point guard, you guys know
What's wrong with you? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, well, what's the matter with you? We'll start where we always do with honorable mentions. So, who's your first honorable mention?
My first honorable mention is Miles Turner.
He's mine as well.
Until you reminded me about Kristaps Porzingis, he was on my list. But obviously had a really good season, and he's been very consistent, I would say, overall, even just the past few seasons. Obviously still an anchor defensively, maybe not where he once was a few years ago, but still really good on that side of the ball, especially on a team that lacks a lot of defenders. And I think he's just very versatile offensively, which is kind of overlooked. Like, I think he's mostly considered, just a spacer and just a good fitting offensive piece. But I think he does have a lot more to his game that's a little underappreciated.
He could yam that thing. Like, he has had some crazy dunks in his career.
He has
you don't think about.
He has my favorite poster of all time.
Yeah. What was it, on Tristan Thompson?
Tristan Thompson.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, he can low-key punish defenders like that. Like a pump fake at the three and then drive and just yam it. That's something you don't see that often, but it is something that is in his game.
Yeah.
I like how, obviously with the three-point shooting is what you think of with him offensively. And that's just something that is very valuable in today's game. It's a very good archetype. That shot blocking, stretch big is kind of an
Everybody
ideal.
wants it. Yeah,
it's just so portable, you talked about the defense falling off a bit. He did great in the playoffs. I don't know. Just a very solid guy. I just don't see him cracking the top 10. Just with how the top 10 looks.
Yeah, not with the rest of the talent there, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I mean, very good center. He's a guy that lots of teams want him. He's very valuable. And yeah, like you said, consistent as well. Just good old reliable. Now, who's your next honorable mention?
DeAndre Ayton.
Gets a mention, huh?
He does get a slight mention. And it's just because I still think he has all the tools and all the talent to be a very good center and a successful player in the NBA, but he unfortunately just has not been able to put it all together at this point in his career. Obviously, he's not playing super meaningful games at the moment, being in Portland. I don't know, hopefully for his sake that changes. Maybe not, I don't know, maybe he's just cool stat padding a little bit, but I just think he has so much overall talent. If he could just put it together, he genuinely could be on this list once again.
Yeah, for sure. Great rebounder. He's a guy that we've seen his value in that was it that Pelicans series during their finals run when he was really going off.
And to this day, the Pelicans still don't have a good center. But yes, he did dominate them in that playoff series.
Yeah, I just feel like he doesn't really just have that fire, that passion that I think that you kind of need as an NBA player to really reach your potential.
Yeah.
That willingness to get better and put in the work to get better. We've seen that he likes playing 2K and just staying at home when it snows, So I don't know.
He's just like me.
He is. Yeah, facts. Well, not this year. Okay. Yeah, he's a guy that doesn't get to the line at all. And this season, it was actually the worst it's been. He only attempted one free throw a game.
Yeah, well, in the start of the season, I remember was super rocky for him. He was just barely doing anything. So yeah, I don't know what his deal is, because I don't think he's a bad NBA player. I just don't know why he can't play like he should be able to play. At least 50% of the time.
Yeah, and a first overall pick, I had high expectations for him coming into the league, and it just has not come close to that. So yeah, I don't know, but the talent is definitely there. I think he's like a 15-ish guy, like in that middle center realm.
Yeah.
Uh, I didn't think you would have him as an honorable mention, but I mean, good on him, I guess. My honorable mention, it hurts to have him here. It's Şengün.
Yeah,
It's
that's my last one as well.
Okay. This one was really hard between him and number 10. I went back and forth a lot. Uh, but yeah, he does play like a baby Jokic, and he's obviously a great scorer in the post. He's dominant. He gave Wemby what? He gave him like 44, just going at his chest, this season.
Yeah, I
Uh,
just think at this point the Rockets kind of the top pieces of their core. I'm still not too sure how well they are together, and it kind of
hmm,
concerns me of how of their fits for the future, which is why I'm not quite ready to say he's right there. But yeah, definitely super talented, a very obviously a fantastic playmaker. Obviously defensively, there's not a lot going on there, but that's not what he does anyway,
yeah,
so it doesn't not the biggest worry, at least at the moment.
yeah. I'll let you know what their core should be. It should be Şengün working in the high post, Reed Shepherd coming off pin down screens, and Amin cutting backdoor for lobs. Like that is just those two guys, Amin and Reed. They fit so well with Şengün. I think. Well, I mean, we haven't seen it with Reed, but he definitely can fit well with them. That I think that should kind of be what they focus on their offense.
Jalen Green, get
Um,
ready to learn Chinese, buddy.
yeah, facts. Get ready to learn. I don't know. I was gonna say Brooklynese. Um, get ready for Brooklyn. But yeah, I was pushing for him to make an All-Star game this year. I really wanted him. I thought he was. Well, I didn't think he was going to, but I thought he was deserving of one at
Yeah.
points in the season. It's nice that we can finally see his full talent now that he doesn't have a coach that hates him. Because Steven Silas was just such a bad coach. He would like bench this man in the fourth quarter when they're not playing for anything.
Obviously, he
Uh,
needed those reps for the defense. Jeff Green, come on, take us home, baby.
yeah, no, exactly. Like, what are you doing? Yeah, just such a great playmaker in the high post. Just that scoring gravity, the fact that he can back down and score on lots of players and then being able to kick it out. Yeah, great rebounder. He has been expanding his range. One thing for me is just that if that continues to get higher, that's kind of the next evolution, and that's what can kind of jump him into this next tier
Yeah.
or this next part of the list. Because he is starting to take more like mid-range shots, and they don't always fall, but once that starts falling, and if he starts shooting threes at a high rate or even a average rate, then that's dangerous.
Yeah, no, I agree. He definitely still has a lot he can improve on, and you know, jump up some players on this list, I suppose.
Yeah. Another thing too was the team did really good without him when there was that stretch at the end of the season when he was injured, and that's kind of a something that was a tiebreaker for me because the guy I have above him was just so valuable when lots of other players on his team were absent,
Yeah,
and the fact that the Rockets did have a better record without Şengün kind of was. I mean, obviously that doesn't mean a whole lot, but it's an interesting. It's the Patrick Ewing theory.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and like when Ja Morant a couple years ago, when the team was better without him, or not better without him, but they were like really good still
21 and
without
0.
him. Yeah. So yeah. So let's get into our top 10. Who do you have at number 10?
This is where I have Jared Allen.
Okay, yeah. Let's hope our list isn't the exact same.
I was
But,
gonna say, I'm
yeah.
assuming this based off what you were saying. I was assuming this is where you had Jared Allen.
Yeah, it's fair down. It was close for me between him and LP. But.
Yeah, and just based off the list, it's kind of I feel like where he slips in. I think he's close to the two that I have above him, but I think he's the clear kind of odd man out there. But yeah, like you mentioned, super impactful season. Obviously, fantastic rebounder. I think he's low key a bit of an underrated defender at this point in his career, just because he's
Yeah,
next to
I
Evan
agree.
Mobley. Obviously, still elite on that side of the ball, an elite interior presence. Obviously, not a whole lot else much offensively, but it works. Well, to an extent.
Yeah, he's still better than Gobert on the offensive side, and that's
Yeah.
something that like Jared Allen didn't he average like 17 points per game this year, something like that. Like
Yeah.
he did improve offensively, I
Yeah.
must say. Obviously he's not gonna do crazy crossovers and tweens, but I mean he doesn't need to.
It's gonna start pulling it from the logo.
Yeah, facts. That's the next evolution. But yeah, he anchored the Cavs defense a lot this season. I think he should have got more buzz for all defense. I don't know if he really, just because there's so many great defenders, I don't know if he should have made it, but there was like no buzz around him defensively, because Mobley kind of takes all the credit on that team.
Yeah.
But he was a guy that was really good defensively, and he really stepped up when Mobley was out of the lineup and Garland was out of the lineup. The Cavs went on that crazy stretch where they were like this amazing team.
Kind of got them back into it because they were looking
exactly.
quite questionable.
And Jared Allen is a guy that really helped with that. He's just super reliable and consistent from the center position. Like, you just know what you're getting out of him on a night-to-night basis. Obviously, great rebounder, rim protector, rim runner, all that stuff. And just a very active workhorse as well. And he also improved his playmaking a bit. He averaged almost 3 assists a game, which... is surprising. So yeah, just expanding that offensive game.
Yeah.
Just a little bit, like just enough to really make more of an impact.
Just to be better than Gobert offensively.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm better than no. It's close. It's a coin flip.
Maybe the jump shot's close.
Nah, Gobert's got that wet jumper, that fade around, that fadeaway shot against. I watched that live and I was like, "Oh my god!"
That's when you knew the game was over.
Yeah, that's when you pack it up and you go on the plane. Like, yeah. But yeah, I feel like his positioning is just so well.
Yeah.
Like, you don't really think of centers and bigs as having like high basketball IQ. But he's a guy I think that has very high basketball IQ. We see that on defense, and also like rebounding, he's always in the right spot for a rebound. And also when like Donovan Mitchell is driving into the paint, there's so many times where he just dumps it off to Jared Allen, who's in the perfect position.
Yeah, no, I agree with that completely.
So yeah, I think he's very cemented in this spot. I don't think that there's really much of an argument for him to be higher, but I mean, he's a very, very good center. Yeah. So number 9, who do you have?
This is where I do have Rudy Gobert.
Okay. Our list is different.
Yeah.
Let's go. Okay, talk to me about Gobert.
Yeah, if this was last year, he probably wouldn't have actually made the list based off his play last year. But yeah, this year the Timberwolves as a whole definitely figured out how to use him defensively again, which is odd considering he was a defensive player of the year. But, obviously kind of had a resurgence year from his poor play last year. Adding another defensive player of the year to the resume, kind of reestablishing that he is that dominant defensive force in the paint. And, in
the regular season.
Yeah. Still wasn't the greatest in the playoffs. Obviously, he was super good the Suns series, but the rest of the playoffs wasn't bad by any means, but definitely not the elite caliber. But I'm not going to hold that against him when you're playing Luka Doncic. And then obviously his shortcomings are obviously on the offensive side of the floor.
Yeah, for sure. He's just such a valuable regular season player. Like, his regular season value is all the way up here, and his playoff value, and we also seen in the Olympics his value is like closer to down here.
Yeah.
So that's what makes him really polarizing. But I mean, if you need regular season wins, if you need that floor raiser, he's definitely a center that will help you do that.
Yeah.
And yeah, he has absolutely no offensive game at all. Like, he can't really finish unless it's a dunk, which, I mean, he's a good dunker, but like...
Luckily, that's most of what he does.
No post or scoring game or finishing game at all.
Still no
like,
touch around the rim.
No, not at all. Which is just crazy how you get so far in the NBA and you look like a middle schooler in the paint. Like, I don't know. Yeah, also just like playmaking wise, I talked about how like Jared Allen has improved with like, just simple things like dribble hand not dribble handoffs, but like kickouts to the corner.
Short roll.
Gobert, like
Yeah.
if you send an extra body at Gobert, it's a turnover every time. Just he can't make decisions with the ball in his hand at all. Like he's really just a rim running catch a lob. But
I just think it's so crazy
obviously
how he's so good on the one side of the ball and so bad on the other side.
yeah, he's the anti Trey Young. I like when Gobert was in trade rumors. I wanted Trey Young and Gobert to team up just because it would have been funny. Just because they're both so hated, and because like Trey Young throwing lobs to like the best lob guy in the league, like that connection would be interesting. But anyways, we know what Gobert can do as a defender, as a rebounder. Um, yeah, he's also effective on defense when he's not blocking your shot. Like, there's some defenders where they're really just shot blockers, but Gobert is just an all-around great defender where he's going to affect the way the other team plays and just deter shots at the rim like that.
Underrated on the perimeter as well for a big by majority
Yes,
of
because
fans.
people bring up Dancing Gobert, but
At least
I think this playoff showed people as well
Yeah.
that he, yeah.
definitely the Sun series.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, everyone stepped it up in that. Same with Cat, like his game on the perimeter. I have Gobert one spot higher. I have him at 8. At 9, I have Tingus Pingus.
Yeah, we just have them flipped. That's what I was assuming.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, a lot of this for Porzingis is just injury.
Yeah.
Like, he would be higher for me, but the fact that he is like probably one of the most injury-prone guys in the league at this point, it's just hard to put him high on a list like this.
Yeah, no,
Especially above the decoy.
Yeah,
Like,
that's completely the thing. I think he could arguably be a couple spots higher if he could stay healthy. He's
yeah, for sure.
Arguably brings similar, not obviously he brings similar, but arguably as good of a defender as Gobert. Just the way he's able to impact shots at the rim, shot block, all that, and then. Obviously, he's not a zero on the offensive side of the ball. He's an elite floor spacer for the center, probably the best floor spacing center here, and
yeah, he is. For sure.
and he was super efficient in the post this season. Just super good all around player. But yeah, obviously he just cannot stay healthy for the life of him. So I don't think he can argue any much higher than around this area.
Yeah, for sure. I like how the narrative changed for him as well, where he was a guy that was putting up good stats on bad teams for the most part, and then he looked like one of the most valuable players on the Celtics.
Yeah.
Just because, the Celtics are a really good team without him, but when he's on the court for them, they're, historically amazing.
Yeah.
He just elevates them a lot in that way and just adds a more dynamic offense for the team. And also defensively, just having a 7-3 guy back there that can block shots like that.
It's you just don't want to attack the paint, which is
Yeah. Yeah, he also was a great finisher, and just the system really worked well for him because as a 7-3 guy, with all that spacing around him, it just really helped his offensive game where everyone else is spacing the floor and he could just go to work and finish if there's a mismatch.
Yeah.
Which was something that kind of earlier in his career, he wasn't really hunting mismatches and taking advantage of mismatches like that.
And part of that may have been coaching, definitely probably was also a bit of him, but yeah, definitely nice to see more just versatility added to his offensive game this season.
Yeah, for sure. The thing is, how old is Porzingis? Is he 30 yet or no?
I was going to say he might, maybe 28, 29.
He is 29 years old. If he retires at 32, if he retires in 3 years, would you be that surprised?
I mean, he got a ring. He's not. I don't think he'll ever get back to the Knicks Porzingis that we thought he could be an MVP. But
yeah.
But I mean, he's made bank. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I don't know.
Save
I
your
think
health.
that injuries will force him to have a an early ending for his career, which is I can't really justify putting him too high because of that.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think that's about it for Porzingis. So I have him 9, and then Gobert 8. You have it flipped. So now we're at number 7. Who do you have here?
Domantas Sabonis.
Okay. I have Chet here. So I'm guessing we just have them flipped.
Yes.
Okay, I was like, whoa. Yeah, okay. Let's talk about Sabonis first for 7 for you.
I see a lot of people say he puts up the most empty, non-impactful stats, and I can kind of see it, like when you're watching him. Obviously he rebounds the hell out of the ball. It was like free money at one point this season.
Not the hell out of the ball. He rebounds the fuck out of the ball.
Yeah, it was. He was going for 13 rebounds every game at one point this season, and obviously, the dribble handoffs. It works well for the Kings offensively, and I think it'll work well with now that they got DeMar DeRozan as well. But obviously not really a whole lot in terms of his floor spacing ability. He's good at attacking downhill, and can play out of that. But nothing really, not really anything special on the defensive side of the ball either. And yeah.
Yeah, the dribble handoffs also inflate his assists a lot.
Yeah.
Like, he averaged 8 assists per game, but like when you're watching him, it's like, did he really get 8 assists? Just because with the way the assist rules are and whatever.
Yeah, it just doesn't seem.
How many of those are?
It just doesn't feel like he's like reading the offense or the defense like some other people and centers who are very good playmakers.
Yeah, obviously he's still a really good playmaker, but just I think that the assist numbers kind of don't tell the whole story with that side of the ball.
Yeah.
But yeah, insane box score stats. Like if you just look at the box score, like 19 points per game, 14 rebounds, 8 assists. Like how many players in NBA history have put that up? Like, is he the only one? No.
In terms of how high the rebounding is, basically.
With the rebounds, yeah.
Yeah, with the rebounding. The only people that come close are like Luka Jokic and Westbrook.
Yeah, but their rebounds aren't 14 a game.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is a guy that, Sabonis is a guy that's super durable, which is really helps his stock here.
Yeah.
At least for me, because he's just an absolute Iron Man, and especially with the way he plays so physical and the way he's able to play every game, basically, is just is really good. He's also pretty consistent. He is bad defensively, and we've talked about this before, I think, but the center position is one where I think it's probably the most valuable defensively.
Yeah.
And it's just super hard when you have a Sabonis guy on defense as your center. It's hard to really build a good defense around that.
Yeah, and that's why I think the Kings have not done that, which I'm not opposed to that philosophy. Unless you have a bunch of good defenders around them, it's hard to really be lacking that anchor and then be able to build a defensive team around that. So, yeah, I'm not opposed to them in their kind of leading all offense type.
Yeah, and he's just a guy that he's in a weird tier where he needs the ball a lot to be effective, and he can be really effective, but there's just lots of other guys in the NBA you want to have the ball more than him.
Yeah.
Where it's like he can be the best player on your team, but where there's a ceiling to that. And he's not really going to be a supporting piece, really, just because of the defense and how much he needs the ball, and just his game is kind of outdated in today's NBA.
Yeah.
Like, he's not very portable.
I was going to say, he's not a very portable player at all. You're not exactly building your system around him, but you need specific players to, that fit with him, and he can elevate them, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I have Chet at 7 and Sabonis at 6. It is close for sure. I just wanted to kind of wait on Chet a bit, and also because if Chet would have done better in the playoffs, I think that I'd be comfortable putting Chet over Sabonis. But the fact that he didn't have the greatest playoffs, just rebounding the ball, and also just offensively not stepping up the way he could have. Yeah, he's definitely better than Gobert, just because like defensively, obviously they're similar, and then offensively, Chet hasn't beat by a mile.
Yeah, I was super. I was Sabonis and Chet were super close for me as well. I think that the portability of Chet I like a lot more. Again, obviously the rebounding could be better, which is basically why they went after Hartenstein, which is not to discredit him because he's still obviously okay on that side of the ball, but for a 7-1-2 guy, it definitely could be better. But yeah, obviously started off the season super great, insanely efficient. Kind of tailed off a little bit, but still overall had a great, I guess, rookie season.
Amazing rookie season. Like it's gonna be insane because he's going to get disrespected and overshadowed so much just because he's going to be in those Wemby talks all the time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Trae Young Luka thing. Like I feel like Chet and Wemby will be tethered for a long time.
Yeah.
Like if Wemby didn't exist this season, I think that lots of people would look at Chet and be talking about his potential a lot more and just hyping him up a lot more. But I think he's kind of going under the radar just because there is another unicorn guy that's doing it better. But Chet's potential is insane, and his production in his rookie season was insane.
Yeah, no, he definitely still has a lot he can improve on as well, which is obviously why I don't know. I'm trying to gauge where I think he could be in the future, but I don't want to. Definitely not MVP type, but definitely a couple-time All-Star.
But yeah, all NBA considerations for sure.
And depoy conversations as well.
Yeah.
And then obviously that's not even to mention the elite spacing on the other side of the floor. So yeah, I think the sky is the ceiling for him. Is that the saying? I think that's the saying.
Sky's the limit?
Sky's the limit.
The sky's
the limit.
The sky's the ceiling.
Sky is the roof.
Yeah. For Wemby, the universe is the ceiling.
Wemby has no ceiling.
Wemby, yeah. Yeah. But anyways, in his rookie season, Chet, he turned this OKC team, like, they were an average defense last year, which was impressive without having a center at all. But then when they added Chet, he came in and made them a top defense.
Yeah.
Which was incredible. Great at protecting the rim, can stretch the floor. Same archetype as like the Porzingis and Miles Turner we talked about, but Chet can put it on the ground more, and is better as a shot creator than those guys, and he also is the better defensive player out of those guys.
Yeah, definitely just has a bit more versatility to his game in comparison to the other two, who are again both still great as well. But he's definitely just a step ahead of them on the offensive side of the ball overall. And then super elite defensively as well.
He could have made an all-defensive team easily.
Yeah.
I think I might have had him on all-defense when we were doing our predictions. I don't remember exactly. But he definitely should have been more in those conversations. Just because of the impact. Like, just right away as a rookie, again. This team was an average defense. He comes in as a rookie, redshirt rookie, and he just turns them into an elite defense.
Yeah.
Which was great. Yeah, I think that I don't have him above Sabonis right now just because the playoff run. But I think that in no time he'll jump him for me. Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. I just wanted to put more respect on Sabonis. It's only a matter of time before Chet jumps him. It might be the first game of the season.
Chet puts up 30, 12, and 5.
Hey, Sabonis is doing that, though.
That's a regular Sabonis stat line.
Yeah, but what's he doing on defense?
Nothing.
Okay, now we go into our top 5, and I have a feeling it'll be exactly the same, but let's do it. Who's number 5 for you?
Bam Adebayo.
Yeah, same. Okay.
I think that, unfortunately, I do think the top of the list kind of falls into place, but Bam...
Very easily.
Bam... Obviously super elite on the defensive side of the ball. Showed that, especially during the Olympics as well. Elite rim protector, but also able to get out and switch out on the perimeter. And I think it'll be kind of interesting to see him maybe get a bit of more time to run the 4 now that they have Khalil Ware.
I like him a lot at the 4.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like him better at the 4. Like, he was playing a lot more 4 when he had his breakout MIP consideration season. Like, I think that he was best utilized as the 4 next to a floor spacing guy like Myers Leonard.
Yep.
I think that that's when he was at his best. I think that he was utilized more as a playmaker as well. Like, he doesn't run the break as the ball handler as much as he did when he was the 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was averaging like 5 assists per game and just running the break, and he won the skills competition that year, which is a great accolade.
Yeah, and obviously he's never really came around on the jump shot side of the offense, but the mid range has been cooking. Yeah, I mean, every year it feels like he shows us a little bit that he can start shooting threes, and he never really does. So hopefully this is the year that he finally does.
Are you buying stock in the 3-point shot? Like, do you think he'll actually shoot more threes next year?
If I'm betting money on it, I'm gonna say no, but I'm hoping.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I just want to talk about him as a defender because he is one of the best defenders in the league. He has made an all-defensive team in his last 5 seasons. But yeah, he'll probably never, or no, he finished top 5. Well, he finished top 5 in DPOY the last 5 years. So just that consistency.
He's always in that conversation. Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever win it. Sadly.
I was gonna say it's kind of unfortunate. I feel like he's always gonna be in those conversations because of how good he is, but because he was always in the conversations, it kind of hurts him a little bit.
Yeah, like it's crazy that Jaren and Marcus Smart have a Defensive Player of the Year, and AD and Bam probably never will.
Let's be real. It's crazy that Marcus Smart has a Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I don't know. Well, he's been starting to shoot more mid-range shots and starting to hit them more, so we'll see if he expands to 3. I think he definitely can. But yeah, do you remember, I think it was after his breakout year, Jimmy was like, I'll give you a lot, I forget how much money, but he was going to give him money for every game where he shot a 3. And he didn't get that much money from him.
Yeah, I think he shot probably about 1 a game, if that. So basically just normal Bam 3-point attempt numbers.
He has not averaged, I think this season he'll for sure shoot a 3 a game. He hasn't done that yet. This was his career high with 0.6.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but he's really helped keep the Heat steady when Jimmy Butler goes in and out of the lineup. He is that consistent guy that you can count on, and he's able to kind of just defensively carry that team to be good enough to keep them afloat while Jimmy's out.
Yeah.
But I think offensively there is a lot to be desired, especially in the big moments, with the lack of the jump shot and just the lack of the kind of offensive bag a bit. Yeah, when it comes to the playoffs, you can game plan around him more, and he's not gonna punish you. Like, I'll live with Bam taking mid-range shots, and I don't know. There's just a certain amount of aggression that I feel like has kind of been lost as well on the offensive side that was kind of there more in his breakout season.
Yeah, I think it kind of comes and goes as well, and you can kind of see him struggling to find his spots at times on the offensive side of the ball, and I do think it shows a little more in the playoffs as well, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, he can anchor a top 5 defense, and he is really consistent defensively, but it's just that we have some players above him. So, one of which, at number 4, I have Victor Wembanyama.
Anthony Davis. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, shut up.
It unfortunately, for now, is Wemby.
Unfortunately. Yes, for now. No, I want to talk about AD when we get there, because I have some things to say. But Wemby, the offense gives him the edge for sure. Like, Bam, we just talked about how great Bam is defensively, and then Wemby as a rookie is like, I might be better.
Literally, Wemby might be better. Just so...
offensively, it's night and day.
Yeah, I saw a clip the other day of it was a 3-on-1 fast break against Wemby, and they kept passing it back and forth until it eventually got to the corner where they shot a 3, and Wemby still got to the contest from the paint. It just shows like how dominant and scared people are to go up against him in the paint. And the 7'4" massive wingspan. I mean, it's fair enough. Puts up stats like it takes nothing. Like every night. At one point, it felt like he was close.
Too.
Yeah, every night.
It's one thing to be 7'4" with a 7'11" wingspan or something, but it's another thing to be able to move and cover as much ground as he can.
Yeah.
Like, that shouldn't be possible for a human.
Put up a 5x5 easily in his rookie season like it was nothing.
Had many close calls as well.
Quadruple double watch all the time. He's stats machine. And impact, and he didn't even play a lot of minutes per game because Pop
he was on a minutes restriction.
Papa had him on a minutes restriction all year, so Wemby is phenomenal, and he.
What did you just say?
Phenomenal.
Yeah, phenomenal.
And he could be, at the top of this list soon.
Yeah, for sure. You could argue that he was the best defensive player in the league last season. You really can make that argument. And he was second in DPOY. People had arguments that, like, I wouldn't be mad if you had him first.
I mean,
honestly.
the Spurs...
The record, obviously. But...
Yeah, the record, obviously, is what holds him back. But, and I guess the minutes restriction as well. Because when he was on the floor, the Spurs were a competent team. Great defensively. And when he was off the floor, they were not. So it's a whole different team when he's out there, and you can instantly see the impact when he's on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, like, people have made exceptions to awards before. Like Russell Westbrook, we thought that he couldn't win an MVP because his team was too low of a seed, but they made that exception for him. Like, we definitely could see that with Wemby. Him just being so overwhelmingly great that they make that exception that his team isn't great. But yeah, like with Wemby, you see those flashes of offensive greatness. And yeah, as a rookie, for almost averaging 4 blocks a game, is just crazy.
And now he has a real point guard.
Yeah, for sure. He can fall in love with the jump shot too much, I feel like, where his jump shot isn't at the level that...
It's not like a Kristaps level of jump shot. And
yeah, I mean, it obviously could get there, but he just falls in love with the jump shot too much. And part of that as well is not having a playmaker really on his team
to
that
get
can
it to him
kind
and
of
settle him down and get him into good spots.
Yes, which Chris Paul is really going to help with that.
Now they have exactly that. So
yeah. He also, like, you see the playmaking flashes and highlights. He just needs to clean up, like, some bad passes he makes and bad reads, which will just come with time as he gets more of a feel for the NBA game.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was asked, even though he had a minutes restriction, he had the 6th highest usage rate, which is insane. I didn't know that until doing some research.
Well, he didn't even play 30 minutes a game, did he?
I don't know.
I think it was just under 30. So yeah, it's just.
It was like, yeah. Let's see here. I thought it was closer to like 27. No, he played just under 30. So yeah, 29.7.
Yeah, it's just crazy how good he is already. The 6th highest
usage rate. Like, he had a higher usage rate than Curry, LeBron, like, so many guys.
And it doesn't. I guess it's just because he can create for himself as well. Because the Spurs obviously lack creators at this point in their young team, and it's like, when in doubt, just get the ball to Wemby, man.
Yeah, move out of the way. But he's only going to get better. Like, the fact that this is his first year and this is kind of his base is just scary for the rest of the league. So, I'm glad we could glaze him a bit. So yeah, let's move on to the top 3. And I'm guessing you have Jokic here.
You got it. Just such a poor defender. Overrated playmaker.
He really hurts his team.
Can't shoot
offensively as well.
Can't shoot the 3-ball. Timberwolves exposed him, like 1 for 8 at the end of that game. Terrible player.
And without KCP, he might drop to 10 on this list. No, it's AD here. Yeah, he sadly completely lost his 3-point shot.
His Even his mid-range shot isn't fantastic at this point of his career, which is unfortunate because it was one of my favorite things about him in his earlier days, how he could just get it from everywhere. But yeah,
now he's playing closer to the rim.
Yeah,
he's been dominant.
I was gonna
close
say,
to the rim,
which is better for him at this point in his career.
Yeah, but there was that other element of his game that really just made him an even more dangerous player. But I mean, still an elite player. He averaged 25 points per game and was a lead on the defensive side of the ball. He is a rebound machine, amazing rim protector, and defensive anchor. He can switch onto the perimeter. Like, him on Team USA with Bam was just scary because both of those guys are great at moving their feet on the perimeter, and they're going to block your shot. And
I'm going to need the Lakers to figure out how to get Bam in LA.
I don't know about the offensive part of that, but nah, Bam, the Heat want him to be a lifer, so they're going to do everything in their power.
He should be a Heat lifer.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, if his jump shot was what it was like, kind of like late Pelicans, early Lakers days.
Yeah.
If his jump shot was like that, I think you can make an argument for him being 2. But I don't think you can at this point.
Yeah, it's especially with Embiid having the MVP to back up his name as well from 2 years ago. It's just hard to go up against that.
Anthony Davis, he does elevate his game in the playoffs, which is he is a playoff riser. He rises in the playoffs, which is something I really like.
Unfortunately for the Lakers,
just say that about Embiid.
Fortunately for the Lakers, it hasn't really helped them though.
Yeah, I mean, that's not on him. That's this poor team. I mean, I don't know.
And Jokic apparently, but
and also coaching a bit because like in that Nuggets series, there were times where he would be on fire going off, and then he just wouldn't get the ball in clutch time. There were a couple instances
that would be
like
why Darvin Ham lost his job.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that you can't completely like blame that on Darvin Ham. Like, obviously you can blame a lot of it on him, but I think some of that is on AD as well.
Yeah.
Like, there's points where he's a bit too passive, where he needs to be like, give me the fucking ball right now.
No, there are definitely points where he looks like one of the most dominant players in the league today, and then there are points where he can kind of disappear and still be kind of the second man next to LeBron.
Yeah, for sure. Because we know he has the talent to really take that torch and like completely take it. Like right now, they're just like they're kind of hot potatoing it. They're like just passing it back and forth. But AD has the talent where he could be like, this is mine, this is my team. But yeah, I don't know. I think we talked about AD enough. I think he does. He played 76 games this year as well.
Super healthy, which I don't know if we're going to get that this year.
I mean, I don't know. But it could happen.
We'll hope for it.
Yeah, for sure. And then the top 2 is just Embiid and Jokic.
Jokic
in
won,
that order.
obviously.
Yeah. I didn't really write down many notes for them because I kind of want to talk more about them when we do our top 10 or top 15 players. Just be able to talk about them more there, just because like we know where they are in the center.
Yeah,
ranking.
there's not a whole lot of arguments you can make either way, in my opinion.
We know what they are.
Jokic is the best player in the league, and we know that. Obviously, super elite everywhere, even defensively. He's pretty good at this point in his career, which people, for some reason, still try to push that narrative that he's not great. But
yeah, it's just a different style of defense.
Yeah.
Like, it's very Marc Gasol-esque, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then Embiid, obviously, great, amazing player. We know his concerns.
Injuries and playoff woes.
Yes. And I think that kind of is more of a point of conversation when we talk about his ranking in the grander NBA rather than just the center list.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's not really much. We'll talk about them more when we talk about their ranking in the greater scale of the NBA, but I'll recap my list. So I got Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Anthony Davis at 3, Victor Wembanyama at 4, Bam Adebayo at 5, Sabonis at 6, Chet at 7, Rudy Gobert at 8, Kristaps at 9, and 10, Jared Allen.
And then I have Nikola Jokic at 1, Embiid at 2, Anthony Davis at 3, Wemby at 4, Bam at 5, Chet at 6, Sabonis at 7, Porzingis at 8, Gobert at 9, and Jared Allen at 10.
So yeah, the only things we
just have the 6
Sabonis
through 9
and Chet
flipped.
Yeah. So
6
Sabonis
through
and Chet
9.
flipped, yeah, just that 6 through 9 range is well, just 6 and 7 and then 8 and 9
Yeah.
flipped. So yeah, so then our next episode, we will be going into the best players in the NBA, all of them. We're going to put them all together and really see who are the top 10 or top 15. I don't think we've talked about which one yet.
Get ready for Brandon Ingram at 1.
He wasn't even first on small forward, man.
Yes, he was. In my heart.
Yeah? Okay. I just forgot that episode. I zoned out.
For real. Bro didn't even watch
I zone out
episode.
whenever you're talking. Whenever you're talking, I'm just like...
So do I.
Great. That's a great podcast characteristic or attribute. That's a great trait to have as a podcast.
Ignore person talking.
Yeah, that makes for a great show. But yeah, so when you see us next, we'll be ranking the top players in the NBA. If you liked this episode and you're on YouTube, give us a like and subscribe. Comment down below your list. If you're on Spotify, give us 5 stars. And yeah, so stay tuned for the next episode. We'll see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.
Adios.